Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Unlimited, Delta Airlines flight schedules are in shambles. EAA says AirVenture 2016 went well. The AW609 tilt rotor resumes flight testing. Hello, I'm Christopher C. Odom. It's August 9th, 2016, and this is Airborne Unlimited. As our favorite spokesman for the common man, Yogi Berra, once said, it's déjà vu all over again. It was only a couple of weeks ago that Southwest Airlines was all but grounded because of some sort of computer system glitch. Now, the same thing has happened reportedly at Delta Airlines. It's reported the IT problems took hold early Monday morning and initially led to concerns that delays would be encountered. It now appears that the term delay was a gross understatement regarding the ricochet effect being caused by the inability to process passengers through the computer system. Because of the size and broad service area of this mega carrier, the effect on hundreds and thousands of passengers is worldwide. While we have no exact details as to what the IT problems amount to, it is logical to assume that it extends beyond passenger scheduling. Issues such as flight planning, aircraft performance, calculations, and maintenance are all dependent on IT connections. It's reported that Delta was quick to advise passengers that depending on the flight and the amount of delay, refunds will apply and rescheduling will be made at no cost. What remains to be seen, however, is how long it will take Delta to get all the functions back online and all aircraft where they're supposed to be. When our AirVenture A&N staff held their final meeting before heading home, the common feeling at AirVenture 2016 was well attended and that EAA had made this year a great event. You could say that there was simply something in the air that told us things went well. Now, the number crunchers at EAA have released the final accounting for AirVenture 2016, and the numbers of attendees, warbirds, showplanes, homebuilds, and exhibitors all increased. EAA Chairman Jack Pelton said, "It was a magical week at Oshkosh this year. You could sense the enthusiasm throughout the grounds no matter where you were. From the aviation anniversaries we celebrated to the magnificent performances by the Canadian Forces snowbirds to the airplanes and the aviators who were here, there was an energy that reinvigorated everyone involved in aviation." According to EAA, approximately 563,000 people came through the gates. Pelton added, "Our attendance was particularly outstanding since we had some weather challenges midweek compared to 7 perfect days in 2015. After the break, corporate tilt-rotor aircraft resumes flight testing.
Since the early days of powered flight, pilots have struggled with landing in crosswinds. In fact, crosswinds and wind gusts cause more landing accidents than fog, thunderstorms, and icing combined. That's where the Redbird X-Wind SE comes in. By placing pilots in gusty crosswind conditions for extended periods of time, the X-Wind SE gives instructors all the time they need to teach the pilot the proper techniques for landing in crosswind conditions. For more information on Redbird X-Wind SE and Redbird's entire line of flight training devices, visit www.redbirdflightsimulations.com.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
Welcome back. If you have a story suggestion for Airborne Unlimited, Aero-TV, our website, or podcast, just email to news-spy@aero-news.net. The Leonardo Company has confirmed that the first AW609 tilt-rotor prototype has resumed flight testing in helicopter and airplane modes. The AW609 is intended to be a civilian tilt-rotor aircraft based to some extent on the same principles as the Boeing Osprey V-22. However, the AW609 is a much smaller aircraft intended for corporate travel. Flight testing was suspended after one of the prototyped aircraft went down in October of last year, resulting in the fatal injury of both pilots on board and the total loss of the aircraft. Ground testing of the aircraft resumed in May. Flight testing activities will continue to take place in Arlington, Texas. The third prototype, assembled and ground tested in Italy, is being shipped to the U.S. in preparation for certification flight testing activities planned later this year. Every Tuesday, we look ahead at some of the more interesting events in the aviation universe. Here's this week's Aero-Calendar. EAA AirVenture 2016 is now a little more than a week behind us, but the buzz is still going on. It's not too late to find out what was new and innovative at AirVenture this year, and you can do it by turning into our AirVenture Innovation Preview series that you can access through this website. You can still get the buzz from EAA AirVenture 2016. On August 12th through the 14th, Burlington, Vermont is holding their Wings Over Vermont Air Show. The air show promises to be one of the largest free events in Vermont and is expected to attract thousands of visitors from across New England and parts of Canada. It features the Air Force, Thunderbirds, Patty Wagstaff, the CAF Red Tail Squadron, and much, much more. Now, we'll head a little more to the north to Abbotsford, British Columbia, Canada. Also, the weekend of August 12th through the 14th is an event designated Canada's National Air Show. The annual aviation festival provides spectators an opportunity to watch one of the finest aerobatic performances in the world. Of course, this means you'll see the Canadian Air Force's Snowbirds as well as their CF-18 National Demonstration Team. It's been 7 years since an air show has been held at Minot Air Force Base in North Dakota. Now, on August 13th, the air show is back in what's being called Northern Neighbors Day. Acts will include the F-16 demonstration team, Heritage Flight, the Army Golden Knights, a B-52 flyover, civilian performers Warbirds, and many, many more flyovers. You'll also get a chance to see the airbase that plays such an important role in the national security of the United States of America as the home of the Global Strike Command. After these messages, an airport turns down federal improvement money.
Sandia introduces the new SAI 340 Quattro TSO'd airspeed, attitude, altitude, and slip. With integral backup battery, safety never looked so good. See it now at www.sandia.aero.
Concorde's recombinant gas RG series sealed battery technology produces a high-performance battery with the advantages of being pre-tested and fully charged at the factory. Find out more about Concorde's entire line of batteries at www.concordebattery.com. Concorde, the heart of your aircraft.
The aviation industry is full of news, and we're summarizing a few of those other great stories in a brief segment we call Around the Patch. The city of St. Mary's, Georgia, has declined an FAA airport improvement grant. It's reported there's legislation pending at the federal level to close the local airport and open a new one. Accepting the grant could complicate the creation of the new airport. Navy Commander Jeffrey Farmer, commanding officer of the Wildcats of Strike Fighter Squadron, joined an elite society of pilots. He has now made 1,000 arrested landings on an aircraft carrier when he touched down aboard USS Dwight D. Eisenhower in July. Miracle Flights ended the month of June with 692 coordinated medical flights to hospitals and doctors around the country. Miracle Flights provides families with free commercial airline tickets so that seriously ill patients may receive specialized medical care throughout the U.S. The FAA has proposed a $500,000 civil penalty against SeaPort Airlines of Portland, Oregon. The FAA alleges that SeaPort failed to perform initial and recurring borescope inspections of the plane's turbine compressor blades as required by an airworthiness directive. Alaska Airlines announced plans to build a new $40 million maintenance facility at Ted Stevens Anchorage International Airport. The new hangar will be a half mile from their existing 37,500 square foot facility, and completion is scheduled for the second quarter of 2018. Well, that's it for today's trip around the patch. Now, let's get back to the rest of the news. The U.S. Marine Corps has ordered all non-deployed aircraft to stand down for 24 hours sometime during this week. This order was issued after suffering 3 aircraft accidents in the past 2 months, 2 of which involved fatalities. The Marine Times reports that the operational pause was ordered by Lieutenant General John Davis. individual commanders have the flexibility to decide which day to take the pause, during which aircraft are normally inspected, according to a Marine Corps spokesperson. An operational pause is not the same as grounding aircraft. 3 Marine FA-18s have gone down in the past 2 months, resulting in the loss of 2 pilots. One of those was Blue Angels pilot Captain Jeff Coos on June 2nd. On July 28th, another Marine pilot was fatally injured as a result of an FA-18C Hornet accident during a training mission in the vicinity of 29 Palms, California. The third accident involved a Navy pilot who was assigned to the Naval Aviation Warfighting Development Center. This pilot successfully ejected from the aircraft. Well, that's our program for today. Remember that Airborne Unlimited is streamed daily, Monday through Friday, with additional breaking news bulletins for important stories that fall outside of our normal deadlines. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe and do check us out on Facebook and Twitter. Get comprehensive, real-time, 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. Keep flying. We'll see you tomorrow.